Hello, welcome to another episode of the Absolute Game of Nerds. You may notice a couple things different here. One, JP is out sick today. He wasn't feeling well. So it is just Mike and I. Mike has graciously stepped in to fill the spot for JP. Additionally, the guest we had lined up today had a last minute cancel. So Mike also had already previously agreed to jump in as the fill-in. So now he's doing double duty as co-host and as guest today. So Mike, how's it going? How you doing? Thanks for jumping in.
Happy to be an afterthought in both cases. It feels good.
So we've obviously just even recently had Mike on, so we thought we'd do something a little different today. What we're going to call the Cards and Comics channel. A lot of you, I'm sure, watch Mike's videos, and he talks about how he likes to collect the first appearances that he knows from the backs of the cards we grew up on. Like, so all of us, for the most part, we grew up on those 1990, 1991, 1992 Impel Marvel Universe sets, right? We all collected them, loved them. That was our intro to Marvel Comics, knowing everything was those cards. So Mike and I's favorite of those was Series 2. And so we thought it'd be cool to go through Series 2, look at the back, see who the first appearances are, and see what books we have in our collection. And we're going to take a little tally. When you're watching, feel free to play along with us and let us know what your tally is.
Are you keeping score? Are you keeping score?
I am keeping score. I think you're going to kill me, though, because, again, your collection is way bigger than mine. So
you got a lot bigger ones, though, than I do. Yeah, and it's funny, just to the audience, like, me, Rohan, and JP talk all the time on Instagram. We love the cards. We talk about these all the time. And I've been thinking about doing this at some point. In fact, it's one of the biggest requested things I get is to show my progress on my first appearance comic book collection. And it's funny, too. I always say I don't collect first appearances and keys that much. Of course I do. They're tied to the cards. I'm a slave to these cards, So people have been asking me. As a matter of fact, just the other day, I got one. I just want to do a shout out to Alan Carson. Said, we all love a video showing your first appearance progress against your card collection. And it's just so funny. We brought this up. Rohan kind of had this idea. We kind of bounced back and forth. I said, you know what? Rather than me do a video on this, I would rather do it in good company. It makes more sense. There's too many cards, too many good comic books. So I thought it sounded like a great idea. I'm happy to be doing it with you.
Yeah, love it. I think it's going to be super fun. And we're doing this again with Series 2. We may do another one down the line with Series 3 and just keep on shooting down the ladder.
Yeah, I got mine ready to go in the binder. So
yeah, and I got them all pulled out to
arguments,
to
and there is going to be, which should probably lay down the rules too, because the first appearances on the back of the cards are all over the place. Sometimes it's the cameo appearance, sometimes it's the full, sometimes it's the first appearance of the character, but not the superhero name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes like it's a wrong version. There's multiple versions of characters. So we're probably gonna have some wiggle room here on a lot of these cards.
On those with nuance, we'll address the nuance. We'll see.
Yes, that was exciting. Right. Yeah, that's fun.
All right, so let's get it started. The first card, number one card in Series 2, of course, is Spider-Man. Right? Obviously, here there's a no-brainer answer here, and it even says on the back of the card, Amazing Fantasy 15. I know I definitely don't have the ability to get Amazing Fantasy 15 right now. Mike, what about you?
I have a surprise for you, actually. No,
here we go.
I don't have it. No. Of course I don't. No, I wish I did. That's super grail, holy grail territory right there.
Yeah, I do have a metal plate of Amazing Fantasy 15, but I didn't bring that out. All right.
Very cool.
These first few are going to be pretty big, so we might be throwing up some zeros here to start. Next one, of course, Daredevil. First appearance, Daredevil number 1.
It's number 2 on my wish list, really, after X-Men number 1. Rohan, you know this. I sent you some pictures. I was very close to pulling the trigger via trade in cash for a Daredevil one the other day. Very high grade. Ultimately, couldn't swing the cash. I probably could have, but I didn't want to prioritize that over X-Men 1. I think you probably agree with that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so it was a tough call. I very well could have had been showing it off today, but unfortunately,
I actually have a set of books, some of which will be shown tonight, that I keep as like these are books I want to trade, and what I want to trade them for, I think I have enough value to either be Daredevil 1 or Avengers 1. Like, I as well am saving towards X-Men 1, but these like in trade, I think I can use I want to get either whatever fall. And I almost had a Daredevil trade recently.
Well, which one would you prefer, Daredevil or Avengers?
I think I would prefer Daredevil 1 over Avengers because in my next kind of couple year plan, I want to get like Topps 39, Jim 83, those are the first appearance of the characters, whereas the Avengers is just the first appearance of them getting together. So it's not as significant.
Right. You get a point in this game with Daredevil and not the Avengers.
But I also realize that the amount of people that you can trade with is more limited. What they'll take is more limited, depending. So, like, it really is like what works out. And there are a couple other books, like I would also trade for House of Secrets 92, for example, and things like that. So,
yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Let's move on for some more zeros.
Moving down the line, sticking with the zeros thing.
Let's just get this out of the way.
For a fantastic.
No one has an FF1.
No FF1.
No one has them. No.
All right.
I wish.
This one I find interesting, right? So the next card up, number 4, is Marvel Girl. I don't think a lot of people remember she was actually called Marvel Girl and not Jean Grey. I think in Series 3 they transitioned to Jean Grey. But in Series 2, she's Marvel Girl. But then same first appearance, it is X-Men 1, as Mike and I just discussed. This is the book that we are both working towards. And so if we do this in 6 months, hopefully we got that.
Ooh. Well, we can nitpick too. We have first Phoenix back there. First Dark Phoenix, which has her own card in the set. So the different, obviously Jean Grey has many different names and different versions of her. But yes, as Marvel Girl, no. X-Men 1.
All right, Mike, you're going to have this one up though. So next one up is Phoenix. Now, this Phoenix is Rachel Summers, right? Not Jean Grey Summers. Her first appearance, X-Men 141. Bam.
X-Men 141. Days of Future Past, one of my favorite Chris Claremont storylines. It's great because it's really a 2-issue storyline. And in this dystopian future where the mutants are being hunted and persecuted, you get your first glimpse at Rachel Summers. She's not named in this. But yeah, and eventually she comes back into the main Marvel timeline and becomes Phoenix, member of Excalibur, member of X-Men as well. And of course, she is an alternate future version of Cyclops and Jean Grey's daughter, I believe. So first appearance right here, 141.
Yeah, I've had that book. It is one I've traded away. I think it may have been involved in like my Hulk 181 trade. I can't remember.
Yep. So,
all right.
Good book.
Next one up, another fat zero coming up here. Submariner. Obviously, so this is where you can have some disputes. So the card lists Marvel Comics 1. And for the longest time, everyone assumed that was it. But as we recently had Dinesh on from Bad Idea Comics, prior to that, we all knew and learned that story in Marvel Comics 1 was actually reprinted from Motion Pictures Funny 1, which is a scarce book. There are 7 copies on the CGC census.
Right.
Dinesh obviously had a 5.0 or something like that. He had this is crazy stuff.
And this is also important to point out because like the Series 3 version of Namor has that listed as the first appearance. So this is where they differ depending on which set it was, who put the card information together. So either way, we don't have either of them, right?
Yeah, and I would say safe to say if either of us had either of those books, we'd happily give the other person the point.
Happily,
all right.
Yes.
Continuing with the fat zeros, Mr. Fantastic. Our Fantastic Four number 1 always. Keep moving it on. Keep moving on with another zero. Iceman. X-Men 1 again. We just talked about this. This is 6 months now. Ask us in 6
months.
Yeah, we're gonna have this. All right, here we go. Shadowcat. First appearance. X-Men 129. Mike's got it again. You want to say anything about that book, Mike?
Yeah. First appearance of Kitty Pryde and also Emma Frost, aka the White Queen. The first sort of cameo of the beginnings of the Hellfire Club. First issue of the Dark Phoenix saga. Awesome book. Great book. I feel like this book was obviously a little higher during the comic boom. It's come down quite a bit. It's a very affordable book for a double first appearance of major X-Men characters. It's sort of a low-grade copy, but I don't care. Awesome book. Very happy to have this one.
I had an 8.5 signed by Chris Claremont, but I used it to get my Fantastic Four 12. But it is one I hope to get back. And I actually when I do get it back, I want to keep it raw. That's why I was kind of happy to.
It's a fun one to read, honestly. It's actually a good story, and you can actually see Kitty Pryde. Yeah. Sweet.
All right, so Mike's up 2-0, but we're gonna keep it right there because next one up, Human Torch, Fantastic Four number 1.
Moving on.
All right, here we go. Now it's getting real. We got Mike's favorite character, Nightcrawler. First appearance is.
I gotta get up.
Size X-Men number 1. Bam.
I gotta get up for some of these. Hey,
all right. There we go. Here's the 2.5
for all the other first appearances. Yeah, mine's a graded 2.5, low condition copy. I've told the story in the past. This is my favorite. The book I always wanted to have fell into my lap, sort of. Pretty cool book, custom label on mine, which I love. Never been
Oh,
cleaned or
dude,
pressed.
the matching. Yeah, I want that matching label. They don't do that anymore.
It needs a press, but I don't want to crack it out because I love the custom label and they don't offer it anymore. So I don't know. But yeah, you got to take it. Also want to add Nightcrawler, 6 agility score on the back.
There
we
you
talk
go.
about this all the time. Tied with Spidey, Beast, and Puma.
There you go. I think mine is about a 2.5, 3.0 range as well. Whenever, and I do plan to get this graded eventually.
Is it faded? I couldn't tell in your video the other day. Is it lighter? No, it looks about the same as mine.
Yeah. I think looks all right.
Nice. Sweet.
All right, I'm gonna keep that one handy because there are going to be a ton coming from that. All right, next one up, Captain Britain, first appearance. So this list, Captain Britain Weekly #1, which would be the Britain magazine, correct?
Yeah. So we needed JP for this one.
Yes,
JP recently found it at a flea market or something. Oh man!
No, the paper show. The paper show.
Paper show. Absolutely steal the deal.
And with the mask.
With the mask. Yeah, so it's a UK only publication, larger format, magazine size, or I should say European album size. They have a matte finish instead of a gloss finish. The paper tends to break down. You don't have to find them in great shape. Very cool looking book. Hard to find over here at a good price. JP got a fantastic deal on it.
Yeah, $40.
I do not have it, but the second fiddle to this, what most people get, is this. So this is Marvel Team Up number 65, Spider-Man and Captain Britain. This is the first U.S. appearance of Captain Britain, and therefore his first appearance in a standard American-sized comic book.
Yeah.
So if you can't get Captain Britain 1, this is a pretty affordable alternative to it.
Yep.
Should I? I'm not gonna give myself a point for that though. Can I? No.
No, I give it to you. I think all associated. Yeah, I'm good with that because we're gonna have a couple issues like that, and we're gonna have to. Yeah, no, I'm good with that.
Take it.
All right. Next up, Iron Man, right, number 13. So first appearance, of course, Tales of Suspense, 39. After my X-Men 1, this is on a list of 4 books that I plan to get. And it's just kind of like saving the money and then whichever one the deal comes up on, right? It'd be this, Fantastic Four, 5, and Jim 83. So 3 books.
After X-Men 1, though.
After X-Men 1, yeah. Of course. Those will be my 3 high priority. And it's like, I'll save money, and then when the deal for one of those 3 comes up, I'll just buy, and then like those are the next 3 books I want to get.
It's a good choice. I mean, that's a wicked cool book. It's one of those books. I always kind of forget about that book, and then whenever I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's so far outside of like what I would get. You know, like I would never dream to have that book, and I'm always like, you know what, I really should put that on my list. But
it's coming down because obviously Iron Man's died in the MCU, so it's a good time to buy both that and Jim 83. So,
and you would trade your Iron Man 1 too, right? Easily for that.
If I had a choice to like trade I would. My plan is to keep my Iron Man 1, and I would rather just save the money that would cost my Iron Man 1, and that way I can keep both because I would like both. Yeah, I have Iron Man 1. I love that book. I love that. Yeah. I love that book especially because when I was a kid growing up, I remember like it was always hard for me to understand, like, wait, there's an Iron Man 1, but that's not his first appearance.
Right.
But I always remember there was 3 solo covers. I always remembered it. And it was Iron Man 1, Silver Surfer 1, and Wolverine the Limited 1. And so
you're going to say Submariner 1, because I would add that to my list.
Yeah, I don't actually remember Submariner 1 as a child. I have that book, but I don't remember it as a child. But Iron Man 1, I definitely remember. And so when I got that, I was very happy with that.
Right. Nice.
All right. Next one up, I'm going to take Mike on this. The Punisher, ASM 129. And where is mine? Here it is. Bam.
And there's JP as well?
JP has this as well.
We should keep the score for JP on the side. I don't know how.
Yeah, we could do that. JP's got a GSX 1 as well. The thing is, I don't know all the obscure ones, but we'll keep track of the big ones I know. So JP's got 2 then. He's got GSX 1 and ASM. So currently as we stand, JP and Rohan 2, Mike 4.
All right.
Put this back.
This is so much fun.
I love this.
I tell you guys, I look at these cards, man. There's nothing that takes me back in time. This is a time machine looking at these. More than anything else, there's a fire in this house, man. Save the wife and the kids, maybe the rabbit. The rabbit's kind of a jerk. And then if I ever come down here, forget the big books. I save my Series 2 Marvel cards. That's my one thing. I love.
All right, next up, card 15. Cable, first appearance. New Mutants 87. You got that one, Mike?
Yeah. Let me see yours first.
I gotta pull it out here. Where's it at?
There's going to be several caveats with this book.
Yes. Bam. Pretty solid high grade copy. Oh, you got the second print.
I have the second print. This is really high. I mean, guys, I could get this book anytime I want. The red one. I just don't do it. I collect all first appearances of X-Men characters. I just haven't got the red one. Sorry, whatever. But this, I was happy we got to do this. First print, for those of you who don't know, is red. Second print is usually the more common one, is the gold background, and there's a pretty big difference in price between them.
Yeah, it's like a 10 to 1 kind of.
It's a 10 to 1.
I remember when I first started collecting comics, and I was watching a claim sale, and they put that one up for $15, and I was like, first appearance of Cable for $15. I'm all over. I was like, something's off here. What? And I like researched it. It was like second print, and I was like, oh. I actually used to have the second print, by the way. And
it all comes down to, like, the print run too. Like sometimes the second, third, fourth prints are way rarer. So I said there's some caveats. So this one's a really minor one.
Yeah, 86.
Before that, there was a preview of Cable. So you see him, Rob Liefeld art, but it's not really a cameo because it's a preview. We usually don't count previews, but I see this often counted as people say it's a cameo of Cable and Stripe. It's not a cameo. It's a preview, not quite the same. But this one I think actually does count. This is Uncanny X-Men number 201. And the reason why this one counts is you see a baby in it, a baby of Cyclops and Madeline Pryor, and that baby grows up to be Cable in an alternate future. So this is actually chronologically and in publication and in the storyline, the earliest Cable appearances in this book. He's a baby, unnamed.
All right. So so let's take it. So I got a point for 87.
Mm-hmm.
You got a point for the second print. We'll give you a point for the baby.
Nah, you just one. We'll take one. We have
okay. JP also has the second print. So
that's all right. I thought it was, you can't a third of a point. No, this is fine. I think that's cool. I just think it was interesting for viewers out there. If you're not sure, number 201, easy book to find. Technically first appearance of Cable.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of.
All right. Next one up. I don't think either of us, if you have this, I didn't know about it, but it is Deathlock, first appearance Deathlock, the limited series, number 1.
Correct. So there are actually two different Deathlocks. The one that's on the card is the Michael Collins Deathlock. Talk about how much of a nerd I am. I used to think that was cool because Michael Collins was the pilot of Apollo 11. When Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, he was orbiting around. I always thought it was interesting he had the same name, but he's not the first Deathlock.
I would say, isn't there like a Marvel Presents or something that?
It's an Astonishing Tales 1920. Number 25 from 1974 is the Luther Manning Deathlock, which was the original one. This card actually has a rookie card of this in the 1990 first series, but Deathlock had been around for 15 years at that point. So.
Yeah, and actually JP has that book, so I'm going to give him a point.
Absolutely give JP a point for that.
Yeah. All right, next one. I think we all have this. Gambit. Now, again, we're going to talk about some nuance here. Now, the card lists X-Men 266.
The card is correct.
The card, I believe, is correct as well. So now, for those of you that don't know, where's my 260? So again, mine signed by Chris Claremont, 9.4. All right. Cool. So with this, there's two comics in debate. There's X-Men 266, and then there's X-Men Annual 14. Oh, Mike's got them both. JP has them both as well. So we'll go 2-2-1.
Right.
Now, X-Men Annual 14 was printed first. However, chronologically per story, 266 comes first. And it even says on the cover, Enter the Mutant Gambit. Plus, it's a better cover. It is the money book, but we'll count both.
Yeah, it's sort of a technicality. I've always said this, annuals are weird anyways. They come out at weird times. They're usually part of the story. Sometimes they have multiple storylines and threads going on. You never know what's going on with an annual. This wasn't that unusual. It's just the fact that timing happened so close to X-Men 266. It's odd. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, 2 weeks difference doesn't make much of a difference to me. It's not like it's years. This is absolutely the first appearance of Gambit.
Yeah. We got another. We got another nuanced one. I know you have one of these. I'm pretty sure. Psylocke.
So we all got a point for that one. We got to do that one. We all got points for that.
The card calls out New Mutants Annual number 2, which is the pink cover. I had this book. I traded it towards my Hulk 181 as well.
Another nuance. So again, Betsy Braddock, the sister of Brian Braddock, aka Captain Britain, first appeared in that same UK publication in Captain Britain number 8. UK only. Her first US appearance is in this one here, and it's the first time she's called Psylocke.
Yeah, so I would say the British one, she's just Betsy Braddock, correct?
That's right. And she became Captain Britain in that same series, I believe. but she doesn't become Psylocke until the U.S. publication. So this is her first U.S. publication, and she's called Psylocke, and she joins the X-Men soon thereafter. So, yep. I still want number 8. That would be great if I had the UK publication. But, yep, this is it.
All right. Next one up. I think you have this one. Vision. Vision's first appearance, Avengers 57. Obviously, the great Buscema cover with the red Vision on the cover.
Well, hold it up first. Hold up the card because I want to be it's the white Vision, so I'm going to show this one.
There you go.
The infamous white Vision cover that kicked off the comic boom. West Coast Avengers number 45. First appearance of white Vision. But yes, hold on a second. And there it is. For those of you who haven't seen it, everyone knows this one. One of the best covers ever. Avengers number 57, first appearance of Vision. So pretty cool.
All right. Awesome. Score check-in, Rohan 4, Mike 10, JP 6.
I have 10. Oh.
Yeah. All right. Next one up. Hawkeye, Tales of Suspense 57. I don't have this one.
Nope.
I will say, if this is what you want to get, you can get this Tales of Suspense 57. This and Black Widow we'll get to Black Widow, but a couple $100, you can get this book now.
You can. You absolutely can. It's definitely come down. It's a cool book. It's a really cool book. He's on the cover in multiple forms. It's pretty neat. So,
and I think you got this recently. Silver Sable, Amazing Spider-Man 265. Nice.
Yeah. There you go. It's
that book also has 2 printings. There's a silver cover. That's the second print.
Correct. Yeah, which I just saw recently, actually, the other day, and almost jumped on it. But pretty good.
All right. This is a more obscure character, kind of starting to break into the more obscure characters. We got Night. I actually thought this character was awesome as a kid. I used to draw this picture, but it is Night Thrasher. First appearance, Thor 411. I definitely don't have it. Oh, look at you.
All right. So there's some nuance here too. So this is his first appearance, often considered first cameo appearance, because the New Warriors, who are a brand new team, show up at the end of this, and they show up in full in the very next issue. Right here, 412. So this is the first appearance of the New Warriors. I don't know if we're going to get to the team cards. This is their first appearance, but also it would be his first cover appearance. There he is.
There you go. Love it.
So, got them both.
All right. You may have this book because you're the Mutant Love. Puck, first appearance, Alpha Flight, number 1. Bam.
I get like 5 copies of this book. I love Alpha Flight. I love the Canadian superhero team. Absolutely love this book. Whenever I find it, I buy it. It's a stupid one of those things.
I actually see it quite often at the LCS I go to. It's like $20. I should just pick it up because, I love Alpha Flight too, and I would love to see them in a movie. Yeah, so
you get it for $10. There's actually several other first appearances. You got Puck, Marina, Tundra, and Wild Child. They're all first appearances in here. So and absolutely.
I actually really love the episode from the X-Men animated series when they come to get Wolverine back. I think it's a great episode.
Oh yeah, yep.
All right, next one up. Union Jack, Captain America 254.
Another interesting book. So his first appearance. So that's actually the Joseph Chapman version. I think his first appearance actually in the issue before that, cameo, whatever. But he's not the first Union Jack. The first Union Jack came out in the Invaders number 7 in 1976. And that was the James Montgomery Falsworth character is the name of it. That his son was also Union Jack. And the reason I'm bringing this up is if anyone who watched the recent Secret Invasion storyline, they had a sort of gender swapped version of Sonya Falsworth character, was sort of like a nod to Union Jack. Right?
Oh, which one was
Olivia Colman's character?
Oh, she was the best part of Secret.
Because this Olivia Colman's amazing.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
She is kind of, I don't know what they're playing. I don't know if they're setting it up that she has a kid who's going to be the next Union Jack, or she was Union Jack. I don't know. But again, when people look at the card, they see Joseph Chapman. He was not the first. It's a Falsworth. And also in Captain America, First Avenger, the British guy who's in his Howling Commandos, his name is James Montgomery Falsworth. He is actually Union Jack, the original Union Jack, the name of the same character. Yeah.
All right.
We're going down the rabbit hole. Sorry.
Yeah. Next one up. I love it. That's it. I didn't even know that. Next one up, though, Quicksilver, X-Men 4. Another book that's high on both our lists.
Wicked high. I've almost got this book too in the past. I have a horror story I'm not going to tell. So show the next card as well.
Same thing. Scarlet Witch, X-Men 4.
X-Men number 4. First Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. First Toad. First Mastermind. Awesome book.
Yeah. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are obviously twins. We all know that from the MCU if you didn't read the comics. Kids of Magneto.
Yeah. Which I think they retconned at one point. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Next one up. Do you have this one? Havoc. X-Men 54.
I recently got this at Terrificon. This is actually tricky. So this is the first appearance of Alex Summers, as
He is,
Alex
he is
Summers, as
Havoc.
Cyclops' younger brother, and he's got a storyline here with a living monolith, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't appear as Havoc until 4 issues later in one of my favorite comic book covers of all time, X-Men 58, Neil Adams cover, showing him in the suit and named as Havoc. You see right there on the bottom.
Yes.
So this is sort of a two-parter. Depends on your definition. If you're talking the character in the suit, it's 54. If you're talking the superhero, it's 58.
Yeah, I say we go with the superhero one on this one.
Okay.
So I'll give you a point there. So you're
I don't
at 15.
even know where I'm at points, man. I have no idea. I was trying to keep track, but trusting
You're at 15. 15. All right. Next one up, I'm pulling mine out to find it real quick. First before I pull, there it is. All right, next one up. I think this is one I have and Mike doesn't.
Yeah.
Iron Fist. Marvel Premiere 15. Booyah.
Yeah. Awesome book.
Dang. Yeah,
And-
I actually
and
got this recently. Smoking deal. It's like an 8.0. Yeah. It was too good not to pass up.
And
on.
you know this, Rohan. I was sending you pictures the other day. I almost got one, several different copies. I was shopping, ended up getting another first appearance, which will appear in the villain section. That's actually a surprisingly affordable book, honestly. Iron Fist. So people should keep their eyes on that. They're coming down. Great book.
I think if that Netflix series was better, that book would be more valuable. All right.
Yeah, I try to pretend it doesn't exist.
Next one up is Adam Warlock. There's a lot of nuance in this one. So
maybe the most complicated one we could possibly come up with is this one.
So we've got Adam Warlock cardless. I have none of them, so I know you got a few. So Fantastic Four 66, which is the Cocoon issue, correct?
First, yeah. So Fantastic Four 66, he's just in a cocoon. You don't actually see him, and I actually take a little bit of umbrage with that being listed as his first appearance. The first time you see him as the character him is the very next issue, number 67. You see here's the cocoon. He hatches out of the cocoon, and you see him, although it's only for a couple of pages at the end. He looks like Adam Warlock, right, with the short hair. His first full appearance is in Thor 165 a few years later, and that's where he's on the cover as him. And the first time he's actually called Adam Warlock is in Marvel Premiere number 1, 1972. That's when Jim Starlin took him to new heights and made him the character we all know and love today. So I'm gonna take this one. I honestly think this is his first appearance.
No, I would take that one. I'll give you a point for that one, definitely. And I'll just caveat here: I hated the Adam Warlock in Guardians 3.
Yeah, they could have done better.
All right, next one up. This is a character I think is very underrated. I like. He actually does have a show coming out, but it is Wonder Man. First appearance, Avengers number 9. And he actually then dies in the next issue, Avengers 10, I think. And then they resurrect him later up down the line. But I'm assuming you got Avengers 9?
I don't. No, I'm not a huge Wonder Man fan.
All right.
Not a big fan. I actually like the old version of him with the trench coat when he in the 70s garb better than the 90s version.
All right, here we go. We got another Alpha Flight guy, Sasquatch. Although Sasquatch first appeared in per card, X-Men 120.
So you can actually see Sasquatch. He's actually on the cover. You got to look close, though. You can actually see his hairy outline right here.
Yeah.
I often hear this is the first cameo appearance of Alpha Flight, and this is the first full appearance. The very next issue, you see him right on the cover.
Yeah.
This is a very cool book, and a lot of people say it's more desirable. But again, people get hung up with the whole cameo first appearance. They're in this book. All of Alpha Flight is in this from the beginning, and the whole end of this book is a fight scene between Wolverine and Sasquatch. No brainer. Yeah. This is the first Alpha Flight, also first Sasquatch.
I'm gonna give you 2 for having both. I think those are both great books. The other cool. Do you have is Vindicator 116?
It's one of the few on my Claremont run I need. Yes.
Yeah, and that's an awesome cover with like Vindicator on the cover, like this. Yeah,
I might have that. I gotta check it. I don't know if I got that recently. Can't tell.
Mike, when you can't remember what books you have,
tell me about it. That's why I like your collection.
Yeah. All right, we got another obscure character, Firestar. Oh, I didn't know her first appearance. So X-Men 193. You got that?
Yes. Another book I have like 5 copies of. Here it is.
Oh, I've had that one before.
There she is right there. Now, here's the thing, though. Another caveat. This is her first appearance in continuity, meaning in mainline Marvel comics in the story. Her first real appearance was here. This is Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends number 1, because Firestar was a creation for this cartoon in the 80s. They wanted to get the Human Torch to be side by side with Iceman because they're very similar personalities, kind of hotheads along with Spidey. But for whatever reason, they couldn't get the rights to the Human Torch and the Fantastic Four for this animated series. So they created another fire-powered character. They made her a mutant. Firestar, very cool. So this is her first appearance, but it's a cartoon. It's not based on the storyline. Which is why
I'm giving you two for that, because that's all. I mean, again, the cool thing is that these are books that we get to see. You're showing books. I'm giving you points.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I'm a completionist, but I love the stories behind this. I like having both for the inevitable video where we did this. I like to teach people stuff, and this is why I think it's cool. So
that's great education for everyone here. All right, next one up, another obscure character. I'll be amazed if you have this. Death's Head, first appearance, Dragon's Claws number 5. I've never even heard of that.
I do not have it. I was looking it up earlier. I'm like, no way, no. I think I have Death's Head 2, his first appearance, who's another character, but no, I do not have Death's Head.
All right, next one, another oddball character, Speedball, first appearance, Spider-Man Annual number 22. You see this cover actually quite often. Yeah, that's it right there.
Again, another book. I think I have 3 copies. My son has a copy. I find this book all the time. You usually get it for under $10. It's a no-brainer. It's fun to get. If the New Warriors or Speedball ever makes an appearance, he's such a weird, quirky character. Yeah. I think it's a good book to have. But yeah, I like the cover. It's cool. It's great.
This was actually another card I used to try and draw as a kid. I don't know why, but
it's a hard card. That's difficult.
Yeah. I think this will be another one you may have, but it is U.S. Agent Captain America 323.
All right, he might be taking the mantle from Adam Warlock for the most complicated. So his first appearance, I know what they list there. What do they say it was 323?
323. Is that the one with him on the cover?
No. So that's the first appearance of John Walker, but he's Super Patriot, right? So he's not U.S. Agent. He appears as Captain America himself in issue number 333 a year later in 87. He has a cameo as U.S. Agent in West Coast Avengers 44. In the first issue, you see him as U.S. Agent.
That one
is this one, Captain America number 354. Again, the card is listing John Walker himself, but this is the first time he's in the suit with the.
When it comes to the money book for U.S. Agent, not that he's a great big character, but that is the money book.
I think it's the money book. Yeah. There's a couple other ones actually pretty good, because like Captain America quits and he picks up the mantle. They're worth money, but not because of John Walker. It's more of a Captain America storyline. This is clearly because it's a great cover.
Yeah.
So.
All right, next one up. Got another X-Men character, Banshee, X-Men 28. You got any of that low?
Oh yeah.
Bam! Look at that. Nice.
There it is. Banshee. He doesn't look anything like himself. Back when they first showed him, he changed its forms when he's flying. He looked weird like a Banshee, and then they changed that. So he's kind of a bad guy in this. But.
All right. Yeah. Next one up, we know because we've already seen it. Megan, first appearance, New Mutants Annual 2.
Yep, the pink cover. I'm not going to dig it out again, but that is also her first appearance. Yep.
Got it. This is another one I've had before, but I've traded it away. Jubilee, X-Men 244.
Several copies of this book. Seem to find it for a good price. I often see this book very overpriced. Shop around, guys. You usually find this book in the $20 to $30 range.
Yeah, I would literally say don't pay more than $20 for that book because you can find it at that price. Yeah. And like oftentimes you'll see it for like $60 to $80. I'm like, guys, what are you doing here with this? Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, she's cool. I mean, yeah, for us who grew up in the 90s, she had a soft place in our hearts because of the animated series. But yeah, don't overpay for that book.
All right, next one up. This is another one that we can say has got a little bit of nuance. It is Ghost Rider. So for Ghost Rider, Series 2 is the Danny Ketch version, right? First appearance being Ghost Rider number 1, Volume 2. All right, so we'll give Mike a point for that. However, the original Ghost Rider is Johnny Blaze, first appearance, Marvel Spotlight 5, baby.
I feel like you should take extra points just because of the upmanship on that one. Yeah, I mean, clearly the better book. There is a Johnny Blaze card in the set later on as a legend card. So
yeah, as a legend.
But yes, that is an awesome book.
Yeah, baby.
Super jealous. We'll come back to this one as well. There's a villain in here that shows up later.
All right, next one up. Again, we've talked about it. Beast, X-Men 1. Ask us in 6 months.
Right. Next one's Ask Us Never.
Yeah, well, yeah. Next one is Invisible One. It's kind of funny, like when I think of in Fantastic Four 1, we've obviously, this is the 4th time we've talked about it. I think of like the books I want to get in the next couple of years, and it's X-Men 1, TOS 39, Jim 83, Fantastic Four 5, Daredevil 1, Avengers 1, et cetera, et cetera. Those are, in my opinion, on a tier. The next Silver Age tier, there are 3 books. Fantastic Four number 1, Hulk 1, Amazing Fantasy 15.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And so those are like, that's going to be take some serious planning down the line to figure out how to get that. Yeah.
I've only ever seen, of all the comic book shows I've ever been to, I've only ever seen one Hulk #1, I believe.
Oh yeah, Hulk 1 is the scarcest Marvel key out there.
Right, you just do not see it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And the thing is like that book has like that bluish purple cover. I don't know if there's a book more prone to Marvel chipping than Hulk 1, and so it's like I feel like if you are above like a 1.8, like you'll be like even like people with crazy collections, their Hulk 1 is like a 0.5.
Right.
Right. If you have like above a 1.8, you are in like rarefied air with Hulk 1. Like that's some crazy
it's just
stuff.
a ludicrously rare book. And I say, as expensive as AF-15s and Fantastic Four 1s are, I see them. I go to these big shows and you see like 5 of them, but man, Hulk 1s, nope.
Recent friend of the show, Dale, also known as Hulk is Hulk from Instagram, he recently got his after we interviewed him about finding his. So big congrats to him. Big next one up, another book I've had traded away. I know you got Rogue, Avengers Annual number 10.
Oh, yeah. Classic. Yep. Great book. Some people don't like the cover. I think it's actually really, really cool.
I love the cover. And the other thing I want to point out is people always were like, Rogue is not on the cover. Rogue is on the cover. She's in the green hood behind Mystique and the Blob right there.
Right there. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Next one up. She-Hulk. First appearance. Savage She-Hulk number 1. You got Savage? Oh, you did. I didn't even know you had that one.
Yeah. I think I traded for it.
Did you get it?
I started my channel. This was a while ago.
Did you get it because that book boomed when the show was announced? Did you get it before the show was announced?
It was right about the time. Yeah, it was last year. I mean, I kind of knew she was going to come. I don't remember. It was close. The show wasn't out. I know that, but yeah, I traded for it. It's okay. Good condition.
Yeah. All right. Next one up. There's another Silver Age first appearance. This one's another one that's fallen in value and it's really cheap. No, relatively speaking, relatively cheap. Doctor Strange, Strange Tales 110. You used to see like during the height, you could see like a 1.5, 2.0 for around $3,000.
Yeah.
Now you can get that book for about $1,200.
Right. Yeah. Still a pricey book. Still, not definitely an easy book to get. But yeah, I do not have one. I would like one. I love Doctor Strange.
Yeah. All right. Next one up. You all know my favorite character, baby. Silver Surfer number 1. Fantastic Four 48. Yes.
Yeah. I'll take mine up. Sure. I got to get up for all these wall books, and it's going to be bare soon. So there it is, guys. Mine is about as low grade as you can get. It's probably the best presenting 1.0 or lower in the world. It's missing half the back cover. It's incredibly brittle. I'll never take it out. But yes, I know, Rohan, is this your favorite book of all time?
So I always like caveat that the trilogy is my top book. Right. But yeah, so that is to me will always be my top book because it's my favorite character. My current copy that I just showed is about like a 2.0, maybe to 3.0, somewhere in there. Definitely one after I get more of the ones that I want. It would be like one of the first ones I look to upgrade.
Right. I mean, and for me, I'm a huge Silver Surfer and Galactus fan as well, and I've always wanted this book. I'm very lucky to get this book in any condition, but I do want a better one now. As well as books I kind of forget about. I have it's such low grade. I'm like, oh, it's worth nothing. Then I look at it. I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute, it's like one of the best books ever. I know he's on the cover. I know people pick it apart for that, but it's still a great cover. I think it's awesome.
It's still a great cover, and I actually didn't appreciate that cover until I physically held mine. I was like, man, this is awesome. It's like iconic. Like that's another one from my childhood. I always know that cover.
Right, exactly. Yep.
All right.
Awesome book.
So, point to each of us. JP does not have, but next one up, Storm, Giant Size X-Men 1. We actually already showed each of ours. Again, we'll keep it up.
There
Bam.
It is. Yeah, she's right there on the cover.
Another point.
My second favorite X-Men character. True story. Nightcrawler's number 1. Storm's number 2. Storm has some of the best X-Men storylines ever. Absolutely awesome. I think she's incredibly underrated. She's it. She's awesome.
So, Mike, have you seen the new Marvel Masterpieces set? Did you look through any of them?
I looked it up.
So, Storm's card, and he's in like tribal attire, and it's kind of from like the chest up. I think that card is stunning.
Yeah,
it's one of the best.
That's the other cool thing about Storm. She has so many different styles that people have done her, and she always looks cool. Like, you know what I mean? I had this can't see this print back here. My son just was looking at it a little earlier. He's like, why did Storm have a mohawk? I'm like, for a long time, and she was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was great.
All right, next one up, kind of a little bit of nuance. I think it was more defined, but I would give points to both because one of them would be, so it's Archangel, right? Obviously, first appearance of Angel was X-Men 1, which we neither have. 6 months
Right.
we'll have. But otherwise, this is also kind of new. So his first appearance is credited as X Factor 24, and his cameo is in X Factor 23. In X Factor 23, though, he has a full like centerfold spread.
In 23?
In 23, yeah, if you open it up. But 24 is largely credited as the first appearance of Archangel. Again, Mike's got it. I've had it. I've traded it. But kudos. That's great.
Another cheap book. You can get this book pretty good.
Yeah,
cheap.
That's another book. Like, don't spend more than $40 on that book.
No way. No.
Yeah. All right, next up, the big man, Thor, Journey to Mystery 83. Another one that's on my 2-year plan to get.
Yeah, that's I don't know where that is in my plan. That one's always one that's like Iron Man seems out of my it seems far away for me. It would be a great book to have, but that's
I will say Jim 83. So when you look at a lot of those Silver Age colors, personally, I think Jim 83 is one of the better. Like I really like the campiness of TOS 939, but a lot of people don't like the cover. I like the campiness, kind of vintage comic aspect to it, but Jim 83 is like unquestionably awesome. Like Thor swinging the hammer, like it's fantastic.
It's wicked cool. Yep. I see that book a lot faded too. It's one of those books that always seems to be discolored. To see that with really bright colors when you see that cover, it's just amazing.
And
yep, no one's getting a point.
And Journey into Mystery, though, that's one of my favorite like trade dresses of those. Like there's like Journey Mystery,
Definitely.
Tales of Suspense, Astonishing Tale, like Tales to Astonish. Like Journey Mystery is one of my favorite trade dresses.
I mean, they're all cool. Right. They all have that 50s horror, very cool.
Yeah. All right, next one up. I'm pretty. Oh wait. So Quasar.
Oh yeah.
They list Captain America 217. I thought it was like Hulk. It's that one.
Yeah. All right. Again, I've actually gotten arguments with people on this one. Everyone says the first appearance of Quasar is Hulk number 234. But this Quasar is Wendell Vaughn, and his first appearance is actually in Captain America number 217 the year before, but he's called Marvel Boy. So that's why he's not considered Quasar. It's still the same character. But he just changes his name a year later in Hulk, calls himself Quasar. So this is first Wendell Vaughn, but he's still a superhero. He's just different by a different name.
There you go.
I don't know why people say that. I don't know. I guess he's called Quasar, but it's the same argument of like Marvel Girl versus Phoenix. You know what I mean? I consider the person the first time they show up, regardless of the superhero name.
So I got a point to you. You're killing it. All right, next one up. A little bit of nuance here. We often hear the debate. Wolverine. The cards for years have always listed Hulk 180. As the first appearance, right? But we all know the money book is Incredible Hulk 181. In my opinion, my all-time favorite cover.
It's up there. Yeah, it's up there. This is definitely my most valuable book. Yeah, I was going to send this into CGC, actually, even though I'm not a big Slab guy. I think I have to, but my CGC subscription's up like next week, so I'm having a dilemma. I don't know what to do. But honestly, I love raw books, and I tell you, as much as I'd love to have this encapsulated, you're right, Rohan. I look at this cover, look at the colors on this cover. It's just freaking awesome. I love this book. I really do.
80 can be had, for a couple hundred, few $100s. So I'm definitely looking for one in that price range to kind of just like pick up on the side here.
I mean, I will say this for me, as of all the first appearances you guys see, I actually do consider 180 his first appearance. I think cameos are first appearances if they're named and you see them in full. And you do. He's clearly Wolverine at the back of that. Obviously, this is a money book. He's on the cover. It's such a great, iconic cover in full. I want 180 as well. But I do consider that his actual first appearance.
Yeah. And I forgot. I'm pretty sure JP has the Hulk book for Quasar, so I got to give him a point for that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next one up. Again, we can kind of breeze through these last four in the heroes because it's Cyclops, X-Men #1, Nick Fury, Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos.
That's attainable, though.
That's attainable. That's a book though. Like it doesn't move me. Like I'm not driven to get. I mean, I would pick it up if I saw it cheap, but like I'm not. It's like not in my plans.
Right.
Hulk 1 we talked about, right? The most scarce Marvel book, key wise, is Hulk #1.
Well, until you get to the next one.
Oh Silver that's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, Silver Age. I should say Silver Age. Yeah.
Yes.
Captain America #1. Captain America 1 from 1941.
What year plan is that for you, Rohan? Is
that is like something drastically changes in my life, and if that happens, right? I mean that's when the collection picks up. Batman 1, Superman 1. Now, I would say I will definitely if money is that available to me, I will definitely prioritize Batman 1, Superman 1, Action 1, Tech 27, and plan to get those far before I get Captain America #1.
Right.
So, personal opinion.
I will also say this too. For me, yeah, I don't think it's attainable, but I just want a golden age Captain America. You know, like I'd be happy to pay for like just something from the golden age Cap, scratch the itch. You know, the look of it, the trade dress, absolutely. So, again, yeah, if I'm getting that book collection, we don't need to do these videos anymore.
Yeah, you're no longer lunch money for doing that.
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, or I would have flown out there to visit you. Would be doing it live in your living room. So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No. So that is all of the heroes. We're going to move on to the villains, but for a score update, Rohan 10, Mike killing it 34, JP 9.
Were there even 34 cards in there?
Yeah. I will say I'm fairly certain JP would have a higher number if he was here because I just don't know. I just don't know all his obscure, but he's got a big collection. I just know his major keys.
I got to move things around. I apologize. Hold on a second.
Yeah, no worries.
I got to bring my villain file over. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that.
All right. So, starting it off, Kingpin, first appearance, Amazing Spider-Man #50. Booyah. This to me is a trifecta book in terms of the storyline. Spider-Man No More's classic storyline. First appearance of the big guy, Kingpin. And in my opinion, Mike, I don't know if you agree with me or not, this is the best Spider-Man cover of all time ever. Not Todd McFarlane doesn't beat it. Yep. Nobody currently beats it. This is the cover. John Romita Sr.
No doubt. Yeah.
Without question.
I saw you did your video the other day. You said that you're absolutely right. This is my favorite, certainly my favorite Spider-Man cover of all time. It's rare, guys, and this is true. Like, you don't often see covers with the Spider-Man suit and Peter Parker's face. You don't. Like, this, the rare case you get both of them. This, you guys know, wherever this book is in a comic shop or a comic show, you can see it from a mile away. This is killer book, the trifecta. Awesome. Oh, I love this book so much.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Beautiful.
All right. Next one up. I've got, and you've got just recently, it is Sabretooth. First appearance. Iron Fist 14, baby.
My choice was this or actual Iron Fist first appearance. And because I'm an X-Men guy. Wisely. And Chris Claremont wrote this, and John Byrne art. I mean, it's basically an X-Men book. So awesome.
So point to each of us.
That's cool. Yeah, I literally got this like 2 days ago when we were filming this. I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's a cool book.
I will say I collected comics as a kid. I was fairly knowledgeable. I did not know Sabretooth's first appearance was in an Iron Fist book until I got back in the last year.
It's one of my favorite little factoids. You know, it's just such a random thing. It actually, you know why? He's not a mutant in that book. He's just like a mercenary who has claws on his hands. They don't say anything, and he's just tough. They don't actually make him a mutant until later.
But again, it is a sick cover for a first appearance. Awesome. All right. Next one up, talked about it. Magneto, X-Men #1.
Ask us later.
Yeah, ask us in 6 months. All right. Next one up, we got another nuancer. Right? Venom. Right?
Oh, man.
Card calls out $2.99. The money book, ASM 300. If you take Mike's logic, $2.99 takes it right because Venom is in full on the back panel or the last panel. It even says Venom. This one is now regularly recognized as the money book, but you got $2.99. You don't have 300, do you?
I don't have 300. So again, for me, I consider this clearly a first appearance because he's for those of you who haven't seen it, and also anyone who has the Marvel Masterpiece cards of Venom, they show the first appearances. That's the picture on the back. I mean, that's clearly Venom first appearance. Todd McFarlane, no doubt about it, right?
Yeah.
Venom's written on the bottom.
One thing too, I will say about Venom. So when Todd McFarlane drew him, which is there 300 all the way up to 3, I can't remember the number. I prefer McFarlane's Venom in the sense that he had sharp teeth, but no slobber or long tongue. Now, when Eric Larson picks up the run, that's when we get the long tongue, the slobber, all that. And like people like that, and that's totally fair. He did some great covers. I personally like and my personal favorite Venom cover and my favorite Todd McFarlane Spider-Man cover is Amazing Spider-Man 316, which is another one I've had and traded away. But definitely one I want to have back again. That cover is sick.
Yeah, and I'm sort of the same thing. I mean, I appreciate it looks more like an alien. The biggest argument against Venom that he's just like he's a black bad Spider-Man, right? He just is looks like exactly like Spider-Man. I kind of like it when they made him more of like, oh, he's clearly an alien. But this book is contentious. I mean, that first appearance, yes, first full is 300, first cameo for 299. There's some other candidates here. I got one right here. There's going to be a giveaway on my channel at some point in the future. This is sweet. 298. First McFarlane work on the Spider-Man title. Someone had tried correcting me in my video last time on the Spider-Man title, first appearance. But this is the first appearance of Eddie Brock. He's not in the suit in this one. And even that claim, if you really want to go into retroactive stuff, some people consider this book, Web of Spider-Man number 18, to be the first appearance of Eddie Brock as simply a pair of hands that push Spider-Man onto the railroad track, or Peter Parker onto the railroad tracks. Deep cut. I think this one's nebulous at best. I don't like when they retcon who someone is. Usually they have to say their name to show that it's them. But
I think you got 3 books. I'm going to give you 2 points there.
Come on. It's one character. You can give me one. That's fine.
No,
I don't have the big one. You have the money book.
We're rewarding the coolness of the collection, and having all of them is great.
I trade all 3 for 300 though. To be
there you go.
To me.
All right, next one up. So this one else is another kind of nuanced one. It is Galactus. So the cards show Fantastic Four 48, which I showed as well, and that was long recognized as Galactus's first appearance. Because, again, he appears in the last panel. What's funny is he appears in the last panel, and his costume is red and green.
Yes,
right?
with a big G on it.
Yep. After CGC came out, they switched and made that his first cameo and his first full appearance, Fantastic Four 49.
And he's clearly on the cover. Yeah,
clearly on the cover, and he's actually in this issue. He's in purple and blue that we all know him as. This is also the first cover appearance of the Silver Surfer.
Right.
To me, this is also in my top 5 favorite covers of all time. This
absolutely
maybe Jack Kirby, in my opinion, my favorite Jack Kirby cover is Fantastic Four 49. And I think Fantastic Four 49 is what Stan Lee calls his favorite comic book of all time, if I remember correctly.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Silver Surfer is if I remember right, Silver Surfer is Stan Lee's favorite character that he made.
So I think for Galactus, that's clearly Galactus. And again, I have 48. I consider that the first appearance of Galactus, just like I consider 180 Hulk and Wolverine and all that. But yeah, if you're a Galactus lover, that's the book to have. Clearly, it's him in his full first appearance. He looks like Galactus. He's on the cover. No brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself 2 for that one, and I'm giving you 1 for that one.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Mandarin Tales of Suspense 50. This is another one that's. Do you have this? It's not that you can get this fairly cheap.
I don't. I was talking with Brandon over at Mon Comics about this. I think you got the second appearance of Mandarin.
Yeah, on his latest video, he got the second.
Yeah, appearance. He did. I started looking up the first appearance. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's affordable. It's still a tough book to get. But I was surprised. Yeah, it's not like.
Yeah, I think you can get that now for under $200.
Yeah, it's a cool book. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah.
All right, next one up. Neither of us have. It's a big book, small character. Chameleon. Amazing Spider-Man number 1. This was the first villain in that book.
First Spidey villain. Right. Yeah,
so
you said it perfectly. Small character, big book. Not many people have that.
I'm curious, where do you rank Amazing Spider-Man 1 with all the other Silver Age Grails?
It's the best first issue that's not a first appearance by far.
Would you kind of consider that in the Avengers territory like we talked about earlier? Or
no, it's higher. No, it's
higher than Avengers.
For me, it's you're gonna kill me for saying this. I don't know, it's tough call. I was gonna say, is it higher than X-Men 1? It is. I think it's much higher than people give it credit for because Spider-Man is huge and it's the beginning of one of the greatest runs.
It is more expensive than I should say at the lower grades. Now, a 9.6 just recently sold for I think $586,000.
Yeah,
a 9.6 X-Men 1 sold a little less than a year ago. Now. Obviously, the market's changed in the time of those 2 sales, but that X-Men 1 9.6 sold for a hair under $1 million, or something like $996,000. So at the high end, data shows X-Men 1's more valuable, but if you go to like a 2030 level, the Spider-Man 1 is going to be more expensive.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, as great as the X-Men are, I think Spider-Man 1 is the more desirable book for most collectors, I think.
Yeah, he's just too big. He is by far the most popular character, All right, next.
So I put it for that reason. It's top tier for me, without a doubt, in Marvel books. So,
All right, next one up, Super Scroll, Fantastic 418. Don't got that.
No, another interesting book though. I looked that one up. Again, not super cheap, but not ridiculous. Cool character. They
All
didn't really
right.
do him justice in the latest Disney Plus show, but we won't get into that.
No, we don't need to because I'll go on a rant. Next one up, Grim Reaper, Avengers 52. I don't got that one.
I don't honestly like. It's such a nonchalantish book. I had to check my back issue to see if it was in there. I don't have it, but again, not a really hard book to get. It honestly, it does have a little bit of a pedigree on his copy simply because of Grim Reaper. Evidently, was a pretty big villain back then. So also the brother of Simon Williams, aka
not only the brother. Oh yeah, the older brother. Simon, and I always love these like did you know facts at the bottom. But that's the fact on this card. Yeah, is that he is the older brother of Wonder Man.
Correct.
All right, I know you got this next one. Mojo, long shot number 3.
Yep, awesome series by Ian Nocenti and Arthur Adams, who did at least 30 cards in series 2, which is why I love it so much.
Did you get that signed recently?
I did. I got long shot 1 signed by him.
Okay.
I didn't bring my series 2 cards. I'm kind of mad at myself. Not only did he do a ton of cards on the set because he loved it, but he used a new technique. He used something called like duotone paper, where you actually use like an acid or some sort of medium to like give it an effect. So a lot of his cards, they have like really fine little lines on it, like hashing. And everyone was like, why do you do that with a ruler? No, he used it with like a special paper, and it made all his cards look special. If you look at some of these, it's pretty impressive what he did. So he's an awesome artist. This whole series, if you guys haven't checked it out, you got to get it. It's fantastic. And Mojo finally shows up in the 3rd issue.
Yeah, another series 2, really affordable. You can find it cheap. So
don't the whole series for $30-$40.
Yeah, exactly. Next one up, Fing Fang Foom, Strange Tales 89. This book is actually older than most of the Marvel books. And like, it wasn't even like, I think he was in that. And then Fing Fang Foom kind of disappeared for a while. Right. And then he became like a more proper villain. But that book, have you ever seen it in person? Yeah.
No.
My LCS, he got a raw copy, and that was like a 8.0 at a minimum, maybe even upwards of, and it was like, it's on my Instagram page. I have a picture, and it is like bright and crisp. It's sick.
Wow. I mean, so there was a reprint of that was in one of those Monsters Prowl or one of those ones. They did a reprint. But that book, I looked it up while I was pulling the books out for this because I was just curious. That is an incredibly expensive book.
Yeah.
Big bucks. Again, in a 1.5, 1.8, whatever it is, you get really low grade, you're still talking 4-figure easy, $4,000 or $5,000 for some of those. So very hard book to get.
Yeah. All right, next one up, Jigsaw, Amazing Spider-Man 161. You got that?
Yeah, because it's got my 2 favorite characters right on it. First time Nightcrawler and Spider-Man meet. In this storyline, there's some confusion, as usually is when heroes fight. There's a bad guy at a carnival. They think it's each other. They start fighting. Ends up being, you don't see him. It's shadowy. It's some sort of mystery assassin. But you find out in the next one, you see Punisher there is because the bad guy is Jigsaw. So Punisher shows up thinking it's one of these 2 guys, and the 3 of them basically figure out it's Jigsaw, who's a guy from Punisher's past, blah, blah, blah. So although they list this one on the card, this is the first time you see Jigsaw, as I believe, this book.
Nice. All right, next one up, Baron Strucker, Sergeant Fury's Howling Commandos number 5. Don't got that one.
Nope. I'm sure we could track it down.
I think you may have got.
Are you out of order, or it doesn't matter? I don't have it.
Am I out of order? Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's 69. Sorry, I am out of order.
That's okay. I don't have it. We can skip that when we get to it.
So 67 is Tombstone. Amazing, or Web of Spider-Man 35. Nice.
This is 36. I think 35 is a cameo. I'm pretty sure this is his absolute. I thought this was his absolute first appearance, but this saying 35, maybe it's a cameo in that, but usually I know it's 36. So
yeah, and I know JP has that because he's collecting the web run.
Yeah.
All right, next one up. I think you got this recently. Ulick, Thor 137.
I did simply because of the cards. Yeah, I actually won this. This one, there's a whole, they call it like the troll storyline. There's 3 issues where he fights the trolls. And Ulick is very, very strong. Almost as strong as Thor. He's not a very well-known character. I actually got all 3 of these on eBay, low bid for $5.
There you go.
No doubt about it. It's not in great shape, but there he is right on the front. So,
all right, next one up. Mysterio, Amazing Spider-Man 13. Again, just Amazing Spider-Man 1 to 20 is probably like the greatest 20-issue run. I mean, every issue is massive. And Mysterio's in 13. Awesome book. Would love to have it one day.
Yeah, the first cheap, rogues galleries you can get are Shocker, Rhino, and Kingpin. And I'm thinking Kingpin's not cheap, obviously.
No, you forgot Scorpion.
And Scorpion, right? Scorpion's expensive. I've been trying to get one of those, and yes, I guess they're more affordable, but they're also pretty pricey.
It's cheaper than Mysterio.
It is cheaper than Mysterio, right? So yeah, they're hard to get.
And then Craven would be kind of next there, and then so I would do like in price order. It would go Mysterio. Who did I just say? Craven.
Well, Green Goblin would be number one.
Well, no, I'm just talking about the cheaper one.
Doc Ock is one. Yeah, Green Goblin. Yeah,
Green Goblin, and then it's probably ASM 50, and then now we take it back up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, I'd kill for first Mysterio. He's my favorite Spidey villain.
Oh, I didn't know. That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
X-Men 60 for Sauron. You got that one?
Oh my! I can't believe I don't have it. I've had this book in my hand a million times. It's not even that expensive of a book. I'm an X-Men collector and completist, and I don't have it. I thought I did, but I don't. I'm gonna go get it like tomorrow. I'm ashamed of myself.
Another one I've had traded away. Actually, traded this one towards my Fantastic Four 12. Yep, Annual 6 for Annihilus, right there on the cover.
First appearance of Annihilus and Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Yeah, JP's still looking for this book, right? I know of one I can probably track down for him. I'm trying to get for him. But yeah, great looking book. This one has a pretty big spine split, but awesome book.
Yep.
Right there.
And it's good that you got a nice bright red one. A lot of times you see that red is really faded.
Exactly. I got this out of my great aunt's attic. That was a fun find.
For the next one, this is Rhino, is Amazing Spider-Man 41. JP has it. I had it. I traded it towards my GSX one, which I'm totally happy with doing.
Yep. No, I don't have it. I want it.
So giving it to JP.
JP gets it.
All right. Absorbing Man, Journey into Mystery 114.
Expensive book. I looked it up. Hard book to get. I do not have it.
All right. All right. Doc Ock, Spider-Man 3.
Expensive books.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. All right. Baron Mordo, Strange Tales 111. So they issued right after Doctor Strange's first appearance.
Right. Nope, don't have it.
All right.
But I think if you're getting Doctor Strange, you get that book too. Try to get him back.
That one you could actually get pretty, like a couple, like $150 or something like that now.
Yeah, right.
All right. Here, a villain you may never have heard of, Saracen, Punisher World Journal 25. Any chance you got that one?
All right. So you're a little out of order again, but I can jump ahead to that. Yeah, because Death Watch, I think, should be next. But we'll go to Saracen. So this is really complicated, too. There are two different Saracens in the Marvel Universe. One is a vampire, and one is this guy who is like an international terrorist who's an enemy of the Punisher. The vampire Saracen had like a bit jokey part in the She-Hulk show, for anyone who saw that. This Saracen that's in the card, this mercenary, is listed on the card as Punisher War Journal, right?
Number 25, yeah.
But that's not true. A year before, Saracen is actually in this one here. This is the Punisher number 22 from 1989. So a year before that one came out. So that's just a mistake of the cards, and you can look that up anywhere. He's in this book, no doubt.
All right, next
Maybe
one
he's not named Saracen till later. I don't know.
Yeah. Nebula, Avengers 257. Don't got that one. You got that one?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Another book after the Guardians of 3 came out. You can get this book for $20.
Yeah.
Easy find.
Same thing with this next book. Easy, cheap ASM book. Puma, ASM 256.
I have several copies of this book. I always buy it when I get it because I love Puma. The first Spidey books I ever bought was a 3-issue Spectacular Spider-Man run of him fighting the Puma.
Yeah,
very cool character. I always love it.
Agility 6.
Agility 6. Gotta love it.
You look at these stats. His stats are balling. Look at this. Strength 5, Agility 6, Stamina 5, Durability 3. Yeah, this guy is balling.
And he's smart too. He runs his own company and everything. And he ends up being like sort of a good guy too later on. He's a cool character.
All right, next one. Death Watch. Ghost Rider, Volume 2, Number 1. So you already showed that.
Same back. Danny Ketch first appearance. This was his big bad guy supposed to be, but he's very forgettable. No one cares.
Yeah. All right. You recently got gifted this book, Kang, Avengers 8.
This is the third copy of this I've had in the last year. Yeah. One of my favorite books. I love villains. Kang's one of my favorite villains, notwithstanding what's going on with the actor, the MCU. I love Kang. He's absolutely one of the coolest. All his different variants. I think the concept behind him is amazing. He so effortlessly beats the Avengers in this book. It's comical. He's so cool. I always thought he was really powerful. And I was gifted this, which blew me away. So awesome book.
One I would love to have one day as well.
Yeah, this one came down price quite a bit. I think now's a good time to jump on it. Awesome.
All right, Blackout, Ghost Rider Volume 2, Number 2.
I haven't. Yeah, if you can get Ghost Rider #1, you can get Ghost Rider #2. I found this in a dollar box in an indoor flea market. It's a cheap book. Very cool. I actually opened it up earlier because I had to rebag it. I realized it was gross. I didn't want it to look gross on the camera. Opened it up and read it. Yeah, he's a pretty scary bad guy, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's just like murdering people left and right. These are kind of dark books back then. I was reminded, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, another dark character, Calypso, Amazing Spider-Man 209.
Don't have it. That's a good book
right.
that I think went up in price when it was announced she might be in the Craven movie.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, she's Craven's wife.
I don't know if she's a wife,
girlfriend, or there's some relation. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
I always thought she was cool on the card. Did you get this recently? Ultron Avengers 55.
I did. It's right here.
Yeah.
So he shows up in 54 as just like a awakened sentient machine, you know, and then he's actually Ultron in this. So you can see him. This book is crazy cheap. I got this for like $45 at a big comic show, and you get it even cheaper than that.
I actually found it at Half Price Books. It was $55, and I was like, it's too expensive for Ultron.
Oh, come on. It's Ultron. Same thing, just like Kang. He's like, well, he's not as good as Kang. But still, he's such a big Avengers villain. It's a no-brainer for me. So
I probably should have picked it up, but...
And it's early Avengers. I mean, it's a cool cover.
All right. This next one is my favorite card in the entire series.
Wow.
Thanos. I think this card is awesome. Like, Thanos looking just beefed up next to death with all those just like... crony.
That's got to be Art. That's got to be Art Adams, right?
Oh, yeah. This is Art Adams. This is awesome.
Remember, I told you the duotone. Hold that up really close, the camera, if you can. Hello, hear me?
Yeah, can you see it?
There you go. So if you guys see the clouds, all the shading in that isn't like Art Adams like put dots on it or lines. He actually put like a chemical on the paper, which made the pattern inherent in the printing of the paper to come forward. So that's why he did it. He was experimenting, and all the other artists thought it was so cool what he was doing. And you can see it on all the cards he did in the set. It's pretty neat. He did it on the Galactus card. He's on the Deathlock card. It's pretty awesome.
We were talking about how awesome it would be to have some original art from these cards. This would be one of my top ones. But on that note, first appearance, Iron Man 55, 6.0, baby. This was the first book I made a major comic book trade for.
Nice. If we were doing Series 3, you'd take another point for Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah. All right, next up, Hobgoblin. Oh, this is definitely gonna have some new ones. So this is the Jason Massendale version, which they list as Amazing Spider-Man 289. However, the first time we know Hobgoblin is Amazing Spider-Man 238. I have a 9.4 signed by John Romita. This is is it Roderick Kingsley? Yeah.
Roderick Kingsley.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I do not have either of those. I don't have either of them, but that's a great book. Obviously, we talked. I think you said it's the best JR cover.
Yep. I don't like JR very much, but that cover is awesome.
Nice, excellent.
Yeah. All right.
Quick correction. Drax, I don't think is in Series 3. You might have to wait a couple more series.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great book. Congrats. Yeah, take the points for those. In fact, you're going to stump me in all the rest of these.
Next one, Lizard, Amazing Spider-Man 6. Again, I don't have it. Hope to have it one day.
That's a tough one.
Yep. All right.
Next one.
These are all bangers. Doctor Doom, Fantastic Four 5. Again, I've told you this is after X-Men 1. This is one of the 3 books I'm going to be getting.
Yeah. Monster book.
Another one I want to get in the hopefully near future. Loki, Jim 85.
Yep.
And then Red Skull, Captain America 1, 1941.
No one's getting it. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so that takes us through the villains. So
all right, we're only an hour. We're doing good.
Yeah. Time-wise, we're killing it. Yeah, I'm much faster than that. So score-wise, I've got, 10, 19. Mike's got 49, 52.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and JP's at 11. JP's definitely much higher. What I know he has. All right. So that takes us to, do we want to do teams, legends, or rookies?
Let's do the legends. We mentioned a couple of these characters already. It's worth bringing them up now.
All right, let's go legends. All right, first up, you got it. Dark Phoenix. First appearance, X-Men 134.
So tricky. Depends on your definition, right? Jean Grey, obviously, we're talking X-Men #1. Her first appearance as Phoenix is X-Men 101. First time she shows up as Dark Phoenix in the Dark Phoenix saga at the end of this book in the red suit. X-Men 134.
Yeah, I think
right
that's
here.
because it's Dark Phoenix. So I think you got the
Dark
right
Phoenix.
one
See the
there.
Phoenix on the cover. I've almost got this book. I almost got it signed by Claremont and graded. I almost did.
So, story about that book. When I was probably in my 3rd week of collecting, I went back to the LCS that I go to. They had that book for $30. And I was like, that's too much. I can't spend that much money on a comic. I came back the next week and be like, no, that was stupid. It was gone, obviously.
Yeah.
But that same day I didn't pick up that book for $30. He also had X-Men 133, which is the first solo cover Wolverine. Guess how much I got that for?
$50.
$15.
Oh, that's a steal.
Yeah.
You stole that.
I ended up getting that signed by Claremont and graded at an 8.5, and I think I turned it for $200.
Still my favorite Wolverine cover of all time.
It's sick.
Love it. Yeah.
All right.
Nice score.
Next one up, Craven. Again, this is in that sub 20 ASM, so ASM 15.
No.
All right. So this is the original Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze. I showed you the Marvel Spotlight 5.
Take it.
All right. Green Goblin, ASM 14.
Awesome book.
This is my actual favorite Spider-Man villain. So while I think Doc Ock, which is Amazing Spider-Man 3, is more expensive because it's 3.
Right.
This is the better book in my opinion for his villains. 14. Definitely one I hope to get sometime soon.
Yeah. Awesome.
Bucky, Captain America 1. Again,
nope.
Unreachable at the moment. And Captain Marvel, Marvel Superheroes 18.
I do not have it.
Nor do I.
Interesting. That's one of the ones I feel like I could get. No problem.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the rookies, and then we'll do teams last.
Right, let me grab these books. Hold on. All right, ready. These are all easy books to get because they all came out in 1991.
Yeah.
1990. Yep.
All right, here we go. Rage, Avengers 326.
Right there.
Nice.
Now, before anyone thinks that I'm that crazy and went out of my way to get it, I just got a huge run of Avengers books, and this was in there. I pulled it aside. So,
all right, Sleepwalker #1. Bang.
I liked Sleepwalker when I was a kid. I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did too. He was really cool. All right.
Yeah.
If you follow Swaggle Haas, you know Darkhawk. Darkhawk #1. There you go.
Darkhawk #1, and what never translates well is the dark green. Color. And Darkhawk, people tease him. I mean, he's so super 90s, supposed to be the next big thing. But there's some pretty cool art of Darkhawk, especially when they changed his costume, his armor, like halfway through the run. He's a cool character. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, here we've got the teams to go through. All right. First one, another book I've had traded away, but it's a great book. X-Force, New Mutants 100. Bang. Do you have the other prints of that?
Not of 100. I've seen them, but no.
Yeah, so there's purple is the first print, white is the second print, and then isn't there a white with different lettering? That's the third print, maybe.
I've only seen the white and the purple.
Okay, maybe it's just the white, but yeah, that's the second print. All right, next one up. Talked about it. Fantastic Four number. Oh no, wait, this is the new Fantastic Four. Excuse me, yeah, and they are in Fantastic Four 347. Another book I've had. You probably got it.
Well, so what did you say? Which number is it?
347.
So that's when I guess when they first show up, this is the book you want to have. Talk about a money book. This is the first cover. Arthur Adams did the card. He did this, and I had it signed by Arthur Adams a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that cover is sick.
I love it. Another book. I always get this book when I find it because I love the card so much. I just thought that team was amazing. So
yeah. All right, next one up, Avengers. We kind of discussed it earlier, but Avengers #1. Hopefully sometime in the near future. Again, now this is the Fantastic Four 1 we've talked about. All right, you may got this one. You may have this one. The West Coast Avengers #1. Bam! All right.
There it is. This is a limited series, not to be confused with the ongoing series that came out after this 4-issue run, but this is their first appearance. Hawkeye is building the team. Pretty cool.
So kind of cool little story about. So the most recent con I went to was the Washington State Summer Con. Local here to Washington. Obviously, a lot of people that are listening will know Dave from West Coast Avengers. Dave was on the show once. Great guy, great seller if you're looking for books. obviously his name is Dave, and so I think he's got the coolest seller name in West Coast Davengers.
Awesome. Yeah.
So that book was drawn by Bob Hall. Bob Hall was at Washington State SummerCon. Him and Dave don't know each other. Dave said he was sitting there, and Bob Hall walked over to him, gave him, it was like a poster of that cover that he signed. He's like, "Hey, I thought your name was really cool. Here you go." So
awesome. That's cool. Wow, that's really neat. Did he did he draw a D on it for him?
No, I don't think so. I think he just said like, I don't remember what he said, but yeah, I just thought it was a cool story. Like, you imagine like one of these guys is coming up like, "Hey, I like your name. Here's a sign." That's pretty sweet.
Right.
All right. Did you know that Series 2 is the only X-Men, or is the only series of 1 and 3 where we only get one X-Men team card, right?
It's true.
In
Unless
Series
you count
1,
the other teams.
Yes. In Series 1, you get like two, there's like a mishmash of X-Men. They don't clarify which is
80s X-Men and you get the early 90s X-Men.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And then in Series 3, you get gold team and you get blue team.
The gold and blue. Yep.
Yep. Now, why Mike says the other teams? Because then you have X Factor. And X Factor, number 1. So one thing people need to realize, look at the cover, look at the 5 characters: Angel, Beast, Iceman, Jean Grey, Cyclops. Same 5 characters in the original X-Men 1. But obviously X Factor. The story I always tell about X Factor 1, when we were collecting comic books, we found a box of comic books that my dad had. I don't know why. He doesn't collect comic books. I ever did. In there was X Factor number 1. As kids in the 90s, a book from the 80s we thought was like, oh my gosh, like this book is worth a lot of money. You can literally buy that book for $10 to $15 any day of the week.
I see them cheaper. Yeah.
They're
it's a good
all
book
over the place. Yeah,
you're
it's
a cool fan. You gotta have that book. You gotta have it.
Yeah, it's a fun book. All right, next one up. You probably got this. Excalibur.
I have 10 of them.
Special edition number 1.
Tricky here. A lot of people get Excalibur number 1 and think it's the first, which is another cool book I always buy. It's not the first. The first was this, basically a graphic novel, one shot, and there are multiple variants of this. There's a ton of different versions, different printings that are slightly different. It doesn't matter. It's a cool book no matter when you find it. It's, again, I've seen this book for $1. You can get it for $5 or less, almost anywhere. Back issues, a very cool one to pick up. Chris Claremont wrote it. Awesome art by Davis and Neary. You gotta get it if you're an X-Men fan, and as a Nightcrawler fan, no brainer.
All right. Next one up, Mike already showed it. New Warriors, Thor 411. So point Mike.
Yeah, 411 and 412. If you like New Warriors, those are the 2 books you want to have.
Masters of Evil. First appearance, Avengers 6.
Masters of Evil, I do not have. There was a second iteration of them, which I think is Avengers 54, which is the first cameo appearance of Ultron. Yeah, so you can kind of luck into Masters of Evil, but the first incarnation of them is kind of an expensive book because it's early in the run. So.
Yep. And you probably got this one, the Marauders, X-Men 210.
So they're saying 210. So 210 is the prologue to the Mutant Massacre. You get your first cameo appearance of the Marauders, I believe. And then the full first appearance of the Marauders is in this awesome 25th anniversary border cover of Wolverine. So this is your first full Marauders. The other one is the first cameo. But yeah, both cool books, very affordable, easy to get.
All right. So going through this, did I miss Mr. Sinister? Is he not in Series 2?
He's not in Series 2. No.
That's a crying shame.
Yeah. There's a lot they skip. There's no Black Panther. There's like crazy characters. No Apocalypse. Yeah.
There's no Mephisto.
Nope.
And this is why we got to do, because Series 1, Series 2, there are some variation characters. So by the way, that's the only thing we have left in Series 2 is like the battles. Is that it? Just battles?
It's I think they have their weapons and stuff, you
know.
Oh
yeah.
But, no, I mean, and then yeah, that's fine. We touch on the characters. If we do a Series 3, if people want to see that, then there's a lot more cards. There's a lot more characters. We can skip maybe the ones we already talked about. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, this was super fun, Mike. And I actually gained a ton of knowledge from you. I didn't know so many of these other things, so it was learning for me.
I do need to give a shout out though before we go. Yeah. This is my favorite set, but up until 2 days ago, as we're filming this, I did not have the whole set. I only had one of the holograms. I had Fantastic Four versus Mole Man, and whatever. I thought I'd get it at some point. I fork over the cash. I got a present in the mail for my 1-year anniversary of Lunch Money Comics. It was sent by Mon Comics.
Oh, he actually told me about that. He
did? Yeah. I don't know how he knew. Someone asked me which cards I was missing. I wasn't sure who colluded with him. but I got now. He sent me the other 4 holograms. So
that's awesome.
I
Yeah, I remember
finally have the first time.
it was the first time
What
because Brandon from Moncom, who we're gonna have on the show in a couple weeks, he responded to one of my unboxing videos, and he and I started talking. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm actually good friends with Mike too." I was like, "Oh, great!" And he's like, "I actually got him this," and I was like, "Oh, that's super sweet, super rad. Yeah, that's awesome."
I mean, he got me a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, honestly, blew me away. And I have a video. I don't know when it's gonna come out in relation to this, but yeah, it was pretty extraordinary. But I was telling you, it's like one of the coolest gifts I ever had. Because again, I've had that whole set complete since I was 11 years old. Yeah. So I was just missing those 4 cards, and I just never got around to it. So pretty special gift, and I can call it as of this. It was perfect timing too. I'm like, I can actually say I have a complete set of Series 2.
The other one I was gonna say that I just thought of who was not in this set. Colossus.
Correct. Yeah. It's actually amazing all the people that it's because this is the first one I collected. Even there's a lot of characters on the cards of like the teams, and in the team, like there's no Elektra, there's no Bullseye. So you see those like battles and arch enemies. I'm like, I don't know who they are. I had no idea. So there's a lot of characters like that. That's just weird how they made the choices. So that's why you get to do both sets.
Especially too because Series 1 and Series 3 has Colossus. Series 1 and Series 3 have Mephisto. Series 1, like one thing actually I find very interesting is they have battle cards in Series 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
The biggest crossover event Marvel ever did was the Infinity Gauntlet when they did it in the 80s, followed closely by Secret Wars.
Right.
I'm shocked that the only time of all those battle cards, you didn't see a battle card for those 2 storylines until Series 3.
I think they were trying to push recent things. I think I read that they want to pick ones that were not that far away, like Evolutionary War and stuff like that, so they could boost sales. That was the idea. They were hoping people would go like, "Ooh, that just came out. I'm gonna go get those. They came out last year." That's why there's some kind of dumb ones in there. So, but yeah, they gotta make money, right?
Got it. Well, yeah,
it worked. It worked. They got some couple of guys into collecting who wouldn't have bought comic books otherwise.
Here's the thing, right? Like almost everyone we talk to on this show is in our age range, right? 90s kids. We're high 30s, low 40s now. All of us. I mean, I would say 90% of the guests that we've had that are in this, are these cards formed their love of Marvel.
And if you talk to the Arthur Adamses and the Joe Juskos about that, they say everyone tells them that. That's all they're known for. I saw a funny thing with an interview. Joe Jusko's wife, who's always side by side, makes fun of him all the time because all he ever signs are Marvel Masterpiece cards. That's how everybody knows him. And Arthur Adams, again, most people know him from the Series 2 cards. It's pretty amazing. It's just right, that generation that just hit at a perfect time, right when comic books were booming. And I think those cards are responsible for a good chunk of late 30s, early 40s collectors in the world. So that's okay. I'm not complaining. It's awesome.
Yeah, and did we do a final score recap here, just real quick?
No, what do we got?
So Rohan 16, Mike killing it 63. And then I counted for 11. JP's, I would be willing to bet JP's in the 30 range.
He's at least. I know he's got some of those bruises in there. Yeah. So hopefully JP can. Maybe if you have me on again, we can do Series 3, and I'd love to see JP bring some of those big books.
Seriously, this was like super fun. We're gonna do Series 1. We're gonna do it's gonna happen. Obviously, it will be several weeks from months from now, whatever it is. But this is gonna happen. And so for those that are watching, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and let us know. Like, did you play along? If you did, how many you got roughly? Let us know if you liked it. Like, I thought this was fun. This was fun for us to do. Is it fun for you to watch?
I'd love to know how many other people have. I'm assuming some people have some big books, have a higher score. What's the score to beat? You were double counting some, but I'd love to see who has the highest score. That'd be amazing if we have someone that has like most of these. That'd be really cool.
Oh, so like there are definitely because like for example, like people have crazy collections. Did you ever listen to our interview with Drew from Como Comics?
I don't think so.
So one of his collecting goals is every superhero book of Marvel from the Silver Age.
Oh, that's insane.
Right? Yeah. And so like I think he was like 8 short. Now, there were some big ones. It was like Hulk 1, Daredevil 1 were the 2 biggest, I think. But for the other ones, he's got them all. And it's just like, when you think about these collections that people have, or like we interviewed Darren from Fantast. His father was the case that we all have heard about. He probably had all of these.
Right. And there's some case, again, the minor characters are great, but you look at someone like, Dinesh, it's like, in fact, you can say, I have a Namor. Like, no one says that. That's worth all the points in the world. It doesn't matter what else you have, that's pretty cool. So, sure. I'd love to hear some of the other comments down there. I'd love to see if someone has a Captain America 1 that watches this. That would blow my mind.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, yeah. AF-15 owners, Captain America. Like, yeah, tell us what you got. Tell us these big boys. Mike and I are hoping, obviously, to cross some of them off our list. Not Captain America 1 anytime soon, but some of these other ones, like we talked about X-Men 1, Fantastic Four 5. This is the future of where my collecting is going. I know Mike's got some ambitions here as well. So,
yeah. Awesome. Great idea. Fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone who suggested it too on the channels. That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike, thanks again for joining me. Obviously, next time the hope is we'll have me, Mike, and JP to do all three of us here. So, again, thanks for watching. Have a good night.